Good evening, everyone. Steve Cunningham with Sense Fidelity. I'm coming at you live with Jason Murphy of the Martyr's Walk, who is at location still in the mountains. This is day three of his the relief efforts that they've been putting on for the last couple of days. So, Jason, welcome. How you doing? How's things? And well, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, Steve. It was good talking to you the other day, and since we've talked, things have changed in a good way. Really appreciate you getting us some exposure, getting us out there, because what we're doing out here has grown enormously. Just coming out here and seeing the devastation and seeing what's going on has been eye opening. It's really sad. It's heartbreaking to see. People have lost everything in many cases, in many places. Um, but also on the other side of the coin, seeing a community and seeing, people from all over the country come together to help, rebuild and establish some sort of civility and normalcy back in this community it's just been beautiful, really.
Oh man, it's the least I can do. I mean, if I can't do it here in the same state that it's going down, and who else is going to do it? Why else would anybody do it? And what good am I if I just sit back with twiddle my thumbs and talk about, I don't know, church politics for the next couple of days? Just think some things a little bit more important right now.
Yeah. It's been interesting. We've just, I mean, I've connected with so many people from so many places. We started with convoy out of Charlotte, actually initiating in Hampstead. Logan Reed, really kind of helping us get this effort off the ground. So they picked up materials and brought them down to Charlotte. We loaded up a moving truck that was donated from a local moving company, Hornet Moving, out of Charlotte. And then we convoyed up with, I think, like 12 guys, 12, with trucks and trailers just full of fuel, water, and everything. And kicked off a small little fundraising campaign. We thought, okay, we'll see if we can collect a couple $1,000 and, a couple thousand pounds of food and supplies. And fast forward to where we are now, I mean, in all the efforts that we've collected, we're pushing $100,000 in donations, which blows my mind. And I'm sitting surrounded by just a fraction of tens of thousands of pounds of donated goods from people as far as Alabama, Colorado, Tennessee, Georgia, um, South Carolina. I mean, all points in between. Uh, just had a last drop from a couple of young Marine guys stationed down at Camp Lejeune. The folks in Franklin, North Carolina, I hope they see this and forgive me for not remembering everybody's name because I've just met hundreds of people, but they have sent three major truckloads and this one right here behind me, this, pallet of water. And that's just a fraction of what they brought. Uh, it's crazy to think, people can move so much so quickly. When we first arrived at Candler, North Carolina, that was day number 7 after the hurricane, and that was the very first FEMA drop. And it's amazing that it took 7 days for FEMA to get their drops going. And we're very thankful. Thank you, FEMA, for getting the material there. But it took 7 days, and it took us 2 days to raise $100,000 and tens of thousands of pounds and get it here sourced and sent out. So I don't know. The great people of this country have really come together to support this effort.
That's the Southern spirit too, man. I mean, we all
Absolutely.
watch
Welcome
our
to the South,
backs over
y'all.
here. Yeah, I mean, especially in that neck of the woods, people got your back up there. And Franklin, man, that's a beautiful country out there. I used to
Yeah.
go there every so often when my medical sales days. Just
Yeah.
hard to get to. So I'm sure if that thing, I don't know how the roads are in the upstate South Carolina to get there. Those were roads that were like touching the side of the mountain with a little waterfall coming off.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, yeah, and trucks doing 60. So where have you been? You started Chandler.
Yeah.
Where else have you been?
So yeah, we first went up to I think it's Candler. Some say Chandler, some say
Chandler,
Candler.
yeah.
I say, tomato
Tomato,
tomato. I
tomato.
don't know. I think it's Candler. Uh We went up to Candler on Thursday, and within 30 minutes of arriving, FEMA arrived with a Chinook, and our guys, even one of the guys in our convoy, actually knew how to land a bird, and he was there, up,
Ah,
coordinating the drop, and guys are swarming it. We're unloading MREs and water. So that was just to stand back and watch that. And then two more came that day. Um, so we spent the day in Candler. I mean, our plan was to basically unload our moving truck and all our supplies there. But seeing that now FEMA had arrived, they were starting to get filled up with their goods. So um, yesterday it was suggested that potentially we move further, I guess southeast of Candler towards Fairview, which
yeah, Fairfield.
is 25 miles, 20 miles east of Asheville, I guess.
Yeah,
And so,
in between Lake Lure.
yeah, that's right. On the way to Lake Lure, Chimney Rock, that area. So we decided not to unload our initial load in Candler, since they were doing pretty good. They were getting established, that the helo zone coming in, and so we held on to our stuff. We helped distribute, and yesterday, golly, the days all run together. Yeah, yesterday came down to Fairview, which was one of the hardest hit areas. Our initial plan was to kind of get in and try and help with some of the relief and recovery efforts. Uh, but it sounded like they needed distribution sites set up. So we took all of our supplies for the most part and came, and where we're sitting under this big canopy next to the Turga Brewery Company,
Yeah, yeah.
and we started unloading. So yesterday we had nothing. This was an empty canopy. We unloaded our first load, and we kind of distributed some things. People would come in every now and again, and then throughout the day, I was contacted by just numerous people asking if they could bring supplies, if they could come help volunteer. And of course, we said, yeah, no problem. And we decided to divide and conquer. So some of our guys yesterday went into Swannanoa and Old Fort,
Mhm.
um, and tried to see where some more need might be assisted with, to get to some of the recovery aid. So we kind of split up. We reconned back at Candler last night. We spent last night there, and then decided some of the guys would push out to Bernardsville, and well, maybe Swannanoa was today that they actually got into, and tried to assist in helping them set up kind of the hub system, kind of the idea of what they did in Candler. They set up like a hub and spoke system where they've got a central base, and they get the deliveries, the supplies, and then from there, sending them out to some of the hard hit areas, to the locals, where you really won't know unless you get in touch with the locals. And so we decided to do that today, and we saw the supplies start to grow tremendously. And I think what's going to happen, and I tell the story to everyone I've talked to, but basically there was a local here earlier. I think he's from Candler. I was a little disheartened because we weren't really getting the supplies out that as quickly as I'd hoped. And he said that's okay. Some people have gotten a good supply for these few days, but come next week, their paycheck from last week is going to be gone. They aren't going to have jobs to go back to, and that's when things are really going to start to fall off. So he said, your stuff, you're going to be used, you're going to be utilized, but it's just getting through that next cycle. And really, I think that's when it's going to hit hard, is when these businesses don't go back to work next week, and the paychecks run out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, people think they've lost their homes, beds, businesses, cars. Think hit the drop down box, everything, and everything's underneath that, right?
Oh yeah. There's
Uh,
a house right behind us where we are right now that was on a foundation, probably a quarter mile, maybe a little bit less than a quarter mile from us in the other direction. And it had basically come off the foundation and was
mhm.
sent. So distance from the foundation to the site where it is, I guess almost a quarter mile from its location. And everything's gone. Everything's wiped out. Just kind of walked through it earlier, and just seeing the kids' pictures and just the knickknacks, and just everything, furniture tossed. It's I mean, it vaporized their whole home, their everything around them vaporized.
Well,
And
that was the that's what you said in the video with on Fairfield, right? This said that the
yes,
creek.
Fairview, yeah. Yeah.
The creek here that got gigantic.
It was, yeah, that's just one of those little quiet little creeks that everybody goes and,
Yeah.
kind of camps out near, and you walk through it, it's ankle deep, got the nice river stones. It might be 6 feet to 10, 12 feet at max. And it's now like 40 feet, I don't know, in the middle, some places I'm sure is, 2 or 3, 4 feet, and it's just steady flowing, water, south of here. And,
That was the foundation that you just showed on the screen, right?
yeah,
The
yeah,
one house.
that might be the house. And the amount of pressure, I mean, it looked like it might have been I don't think it was a mobile home, but maybe a manufactured home of some sort. And it had steel beams, and the steel beams are just bent and twisted. The magnitude of how that took off, it did nicely soft, just come off foundation and drift. This was, probably a huge wall of water rushing, 10, 20, 30, I don't even know, 40 miles an hour, and just wiped it out. There's a huge branch that went into it. I mean, just the magnitude of force it took through there. I've seen a couple of videos online where people were kind of videoing the creeks, and then all of a sudden just a wall of water just washed
Yeah.
over the folks. So that's been just crazy to kind of digest what's going on. So the next phase here, which we're really hoping happens, is there's a church down the street. I guess they refer to it as the Cowboy Church here in Fairview. They have a connection with the Cajun Navy. Like I said before, kind of near and dear to my heart. Being from Louisiana, my dad was able to take his boat and go down there in 2005 and be a part of that rescue mission after Katrina blew through. So Cajun Navy, I think, has a helicopter available, and there might be another private individual, and they're trying to establish a landing zone. Unlike Candler, that was bringing materials in, they want to land here and have the supplies that we have in abundance and fly them out to some hard hit areas. So I'm really hoping that happens tomorrow. We have the zone already marked off. It's probably a little bit less than a quarter mile, maybe 300 yards behind me, across the field next to the brewery. And we're hoping that they can come in and land, and just we can keep resupplying them. And, I have so many people. There are people, especially down in Franklin, that keep telling me there's a old abandoned Kmart that's filled, just ready to go with more supplies. Candler has told me that they will send us as much supplies as we need. So thoughts and prayers that is a success, because that's our goal, is to really establish this as a hub so that we can start sending this stuff out.
If someone wants to ask how long it's going to go on, it's probably going to go on for another couple weeks, especially
Oh
if
yeah.
floods keep going on. It's going to make that easier to do.
Yeah, there won't be water. I mean, some people have wells. I know the brewery next door, we just got power back, even though we don't have power here. I think they're still waiting to flip the breakers, but they just got the linemen were working all day, getting the lines back up. So some of these areas are going to start to see power in the next few days, but the water system is just gone. The water system is underneath the river bodies, and the river bodies are just strewn with debris and trees, and they can't turn the water back on because they're so ruptured in so many places. So we're talking, for the folks depending on local water, 2 to 4 weeks is going to be, it's tough. Yeah, and I can tell you, for just even us who obviously didn't, weren't involved in this direct hit and just trying to assist, being without water, it'll wake you up. All the little things in your daily life, when you use water, just that we take advantage of, leaving the water on while we brush our teeth, being able to flush a toilet without taking the lid off and filling it up every time, taking
Right.
a shower out in a courtyard over a drain grate last night, which was wonderful, one of the best showers I've ever taken. But the little things that we forget about, water's it's vital. Like I said in the first time we talked, it's life-giving, it's necessary, but it can also be such a magnitude of power.
Well, like we talked the first time that I was watching the mayor from I forget the name of the city now, just outside Boone, southwest of it, and he was talking about how and I hate FEMA as much as the next guy. He goes, after he saw him pass by, we're on our own. So you're in small towns that pretty much, if you're watching, unless you're from the area like we are, you've never heard of these cities. So
Yeah, no.
besides Asheville and Boone, everyone's hearing about them. So
Yep, that's
you're
right.
helping guys. How many other people are in those areas? Like, how many's in Shenandoah?
Man, I haven't got into Swannanoa, so I'm not sure. I would imagine they're very similar sized towns, but what I'm hearing is the guys who've been kind of, because there's so many people coming up and they're like, well, how can we assist? How can we get in? And um, and when they get here and they see us here in Fairview, they're like, wow, y'all are in much better, worse shape than Swannanoa or Asheville or some of the other areas that they've seen. Now I know there was devastation and all these little communities that have been hit that were right on the river systems, Hot Springs, Chimney Rock, Lake Lure, all these
Batcave,
areas
yeah.
that got nailed. Um, but I think where we are here in Fairview, it got hit pretty bad. Um, but yeah, I like you just said, like I wasn't that familiar. I'd never really heard of Fairview. I'd come up to the Asheville area. Everyone's heard of Chimney Rock. Everyone's heard of you know uh, you know Asheville, obviously,
Or
and
yeah, Livermore too.
Hendersonville, some of the larger places. But these little unknown areas, just not well known and not well attended to at this point. Um,
I tell you,
but
man, we were talking. My wife and I were talking about it, and when you said you were in Fairview, and I told her, I said, "Man, I remember going there to when I was bracing people. I would tell the docs I would go to their homes so that the patients didn't have to set up a appointment and drive an hour or whatever to get in and just to brace somebody. So I would drive. So I was in Fairview, I was in Batcave, I was in all these cities you've been to in Shenandoah and all the way far out to Cullowhee and Silva and all those places just to
yeah,
put a brace on people. So I know these places, the kind of like the median income in a sense. These aren't like we said the first time, $150,000 a year earners. These guys are they may have an outhouse. Some of
yeah,
them.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah, they're very, very poor, but they take care of their people. It's
Uh-huh.
very close knit. I've just mentioned first names, to some of the locals, and they're like, "Oh, I know that guy," and I'm like, "Oh, I
Oh
can tell
yeah.
you don't like him," or "I know her," and yeah, we know about her. And I mean, it's a first name basis kind of town.
Mhm.
It's you don't there might be one or two that have same last name and they're probably related.
Yeah,
But
everybody knows everybody,
everybody knows
and if
everybody.
somebody's missing, these guys know who's missing.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yep. So I know that they're probably, a lot of folks are coming in and, this morning there was a large group of ATVs. They were lined up like 20 trailers and, God bless everyone who wants to come up and help. But unless you have a local contact who you can actually go, you're not just going to go trailblaze up in the
Right.
woods and recover. It's just not going to happen. You don't know where to even look. You don't know where the river system runs. You don't know where the roads run out. I know that these guys were probably looking to help, but they spent more time stopping and turning around because bridges were out. They had no intel,
Yeah.
and I think that probably is some of the frustration I imagine with some of the law enforcement is that you have these convoys coming in and really not doing well getting integrated with the locals. Um, but I think the locals know, and they're going to take care of the locals. And the big message to FEMA would be, get the supplies out there, deliver the supplies, deliver the water, the non-potable water, so people can take showers, flush their toilets. But let the people organize and get it out to who needs to get it out to. FEMA has come in, and it sounds like they've taken over a couple of distribution sites that are just down the street from here. We heard that we were taken over this morning, and I assured everyone we were not taken over. We don't plan or intend to be taken over or be forfeited at this point. We're integrated with a lot of the locals. Like I said, for what we have, we've brought more into this community than FEMA has, and I'm not saying FEMA doesn't do their job or can't do their job, but I think there's a certain capability here. Instead of bringing people from other states and other locations that don't know how to get around, don't know who needs the most help, drop it and go and let the folks do what they can do. Because there's enough volunteers that'll get it out there. I guarantee it.
I mean, like you said, people were volunteer. We had Joanna contact me from Virginia, and she ended up getting this big farming JK Farms or something like that that they're planning. I think to come help you guys out with tons of food.
Yeah, I think they brought some sitting over here. I think Matt is with me. He's out here. He came and assisted. He arrived earlier this afternoon. helped us unload a bunch of stuff. And, everyone's just doing what they can. There was another lady in Virginia, I think, who has an orchard who wanted to donate, several hundred pounds of apples and peaches. And I can tell you that the food that's here is hearty and it's sustaining, but it ain't that healthy. And beggars can't be choosers, but I can tell you, as someone that hasn't had anything really healthy to eat, it's really nice to grab an apple or an orange. And thankfully, we're starting to see a little bit of fruit come in, but I know it's difficult because it's perishable. But we're trying to figure out how that can be sourced as well, so that we can put it to good use and it doesn't get wasted.
Yeah, I'll give Joanne Patton a big thank you for contacting me about that.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
she hit you up right. Here's his number. Give him a holler.
Yeah, so I think she's going to try to come down in a truck next week. And I said, well, I think that'd probably be better because we'll have a little more feel of how this hub's going to look like in the next few days as people supplies start to run low. And I mean, the people are so good. This is rural. This isn't the city. People don't show up and just load their cars up like you would imagine in a big city where they just take as much as they can. This doesn't seem like America to me. I guess I have a warped sense of America these days, but this doesn't seem like the America that I've been conditioned to know, where people just take everything.
It's the real one, man. It's the South.
This is the real America, and people are scared to take too much. Well, I don't want to take too much. I'm like, no, I got lots. Like, no, I want to leave it.
So
that's unheard of.
We actually care about other people.
That is America. And what we have going on in these cities, I mean, if we were in the city with this, I wouldn't have anything, and I'd probably be beat up and kicked over and spray painted by now. And I mean, I hate to call a spade, but that's the reality of our cities these days.
That's when they have those reports of tires getting slashed. My wife and I looked at each other. That ain't a local.
That's not a local
doing that.
And I can tell you another thing as far as what we want to do with what's happening here with this thing that's booming.
Joanne's on here. She says see you Wednesday.
Yeah, she says she's coming Wednesday. That's great. Yeah, so. Someone will be here. I'm going to try it. I may be here Tuesday or Wednesday, but we'll definitely have boots on the ground. Someone will definitely be here to receive it, and we'll be able to point you in the right direction. So we'll touch base before you get down here for the best drop for that fruit. But I was going to say is in regards to putting the funds back, like everything we have here. We made initial Costco runs. We spent several $1,000s on fuel to get down here and fuel to disperse and all the goods that we wanted to aid with. But we have been really overwhelmed, not I want to say overwhelmed and negative, but just blessed by the amount of donations. So I was talking to a lady earlier here. What we want to do, we want to write really big checks back to the community. We want to be rehousing folks. So a lady was here locally. We were brainstorming about some ideas because we want to make sure that money goes right back into putting people back in their houses and getting on their feet. So I know in getting furniture, getting appliances, the Martyr's Walk is going to take these funds and we're going to pour them right back into the community. We're going to write checks directly to the furniture departments with POs that are going to new addresses for these folks. And if we can contribute to rebuilding homes and rebuilding businesses, that's where these funds are going to go. 100% transparency and 100% back into the people and the communities of Western North Carolina.
Yeah, so if you guys got a business that runs beds, furniture, things like that out there, just contact me or Jason. I'll get you in contact with Jason if you hit me.
That's
or
right.
Go to themartyrswalk.com. You'll see Jason. It's Jason at themartyrswalk.com email. But yeah, and that's fantastic idea. I was thinking, maybe I know some orders fly down to poor places like Ecuador, and they build homes for the summer.
Yeah.
We could probably use some stuff like that here. Hey, why not do that? And maybe we'll convert some people because that's not a Catholic area. It's good old Southern
I can tell you this, Steve. Let me tell you this real quick because this is another real interesting thing that happened. As much as I say that what we're seeing is not the America that we are typically usually conditioned to, I have been told that we aren't the typical Catholics that people are conditioned to running into. And I say that with graveness and with sadness because I have to clarify, because a lot of times when you mention to a bunch of Catholic or non-Catholics, like, hey, we're a Catholic organization, like, oh, you're one of those, huh? One of those that don't take your faith very serious, one of those who, they drink all the time and dress immodestly. And that's just unfortunate to what the Catholics of the modern church have been kind of conditioned to think that's okay. But when they see you, I had a gentleman look me in the eye and he's like, brother, I was born, but I wasn't born yesterday. And I know that you guys are different. And to really have him recognize, like, no, we are authentic in our Christianity, in our walk, and our talk matches our walk, and our walk matches our talk. Um, so that was really just, comforting and just eye-opening to know that, people are recognized, like, no, this is what Catholics do. Okay.
Yeah.
We don't sit around and sit back and play on the computer. We get out, boots on the ground, and we assist. And I think they recognize that, because the most of the people out here, they're not Catholic, but the warmness and the recognition that we've received from these folks is just, it's unbelievable. So it's been a great experience all the way around. And what we're getting out of this, God is never outdone in generosity. And for what we think we're doing, man, he is cooking up something serious that we can't even replicate. So it's such a
Well,
blessing.
it's just cool to see more people try to contact. How can I get in touch with Jason? How can I go and help? Especially if you're a single, able-bodied, especially single. If you want to contact Jason to get up there, you got a few days off, or you don't have responsibilities down here in the non-threatening areas. Get up there and help out. You kind of like work out your, show your faith in real time, in a sense. Help
Yeah,
thy
that's right.
neighbor. Yeah, hit Jason up. I'm sure he's not going to say no to you. Bring some water. And obviously, people was maybe just tuning in. The GoFundMe is still going to go on. This is not just this weekend. You're going to continue doing this for as long as it takes, right?
Yeah, no, we will keep doing this as long as it takes. I know that there's tons of willing and able folks. I know the Men of the Martyrs Walk and our group, they are planning their next trip up here, and we're just going to keep running this, as long as we can. And if God willing, we replicate this hub system and find another location where we can kind of get set up. I don't know. I know that there's a lot of stuff pouring in. We want to be cognizant, but if we can at least run this one right here, and keep material supplies in. I mean, we have everything. We have everything you need in this spot. We don't have building materials, but we have propane, we have fuel, we have water, we have
Necessities.
diapers, we have formula, we have toothbrushes. I mean, you think Dollar General. I mean, it looks like a Dollar General store. As when I walk into a Dollar General, there's usually boxes and stuff everywhere, but they got everything. This is pretty much a Dollar General. You
This
come in here, we got dog food, we got cat food, I got horse food, I got chicken noodle soup, I got blankets over here, I got socks, I've got medical, I got whatever. We got it all. I got MREs stacked to the ceiling, and water, tons of
this is
water.
Jason's Deli.
Yeah, it's Jason's Deli. So I just need some customers. Send me some customers, huh?
There'll be plenty of customers. Yeah, when the
Yeah,
word gets out. All right.
yeah,
For a serious note, how bad is it? I don't know if how many people talked about, like, I remember you saying about the stench. I've had friends of mine that live in the areas. There's friends of the channel all over.
yeah,
I'm in North Carolina. You're in North Carolina. We know
yeah,
people in North Carolina.
yeah.
There's guys in Swannanoa that I know that have emailed me, Hendersonville, Pisgah. It was just, Judson lives up in outside Boone, the southwest of it. How bad, body wise, have you?
Yeah, yeah. We have not encountered that. I have been contacted with people who had body bags, and so I sent it up the chain of command and was told send the body bags. I know that one of the local fire departments here, I think number 3 out of Fairview, whatever station that is, Station 3, I believe they lost one of their firemen. I heard a very sad story from one of the folks in Candler, uh, Curtis, who's with PCS, the private security firm who sort of helped us get up here and get established. He said that there was I think a 3 or 4-year-old found wandering around in Swannanoa, who was sort of bungee corded to a 4x4 post,
Yeah, I've heard
probably
that.
because, yeah, and walking around, no one there. And she lost everything, lost family, lost the home. I know that they've
If
done
anybody doesn't understand what Jason's saying, they're probably thinking that their parents bungeed her to the tree so that she wouldn't get
Yes,
swept away, and the
that's right.
parents got swept away.
Yeah. I know that they have brought in cadaver dogs to do some searches, but unfortunately, because of the massive amount of silt and mud and debris, I think they're going to be finding bodies, and and I hate, I hate to even think about that, but until things start to clear out, they're probably going to find bodies. They're probably going to continue to find bodies. Folks were, just driving or camping or, in their houses. No one expecting a wall of water to come and wash out. I mean, with that kind of force or magnitude, on a flat area, you see the water rise. You're able to recognize that. You can go to higher ground. You can evacuate. But when something that quick, that big is moving, moving at you at however many miles an hour, with that magnitude, uh, you don't have time to prepare for that. So yeah, you know, just be praying for all the folks in all these little towns, because yeah, I think there's still a lot of people missing. Talking to a girl here locally who works out of the fire department in Fairview, there are still a lot of people missing that they haven't been able to get in contact with.
Yeah, I've seen there's been websites that have been put up just because of that, and
Yeah.
obviously you see guys doing their own videos saying that they didn't think that what they were going into was as bad as till they got there, I guess. And
Absolutely. It's really hard. It's really hard to comprehend until you see it. I walked out to the riverbed behind us earlier. A lady who works at a nursing home here, she stopped in. She just said, "Oh, I just want a little bit of water." I'm like, "No, let me give you more." She was one of those folks. I was like, "Hey, take this, take that." And she's like, "No, no, no, I don't want to take it. I just need some water, so I can flush my toilets and so we can have a little water in the house." And we got to talking, and she was telling me, how long she's been here. And then I described to her the house that was sitting kind of behind us. And she said, "Do you mind if we walk out there?" And she just kept saying she just wanted to cry. She had no idea. And she lives and works here, and she had no idea it was that bad. Um, there was tornadic activity through here. There's a lot of trees that are broken in half. So, I mean, they were hit with a lot, with the water, with the rain, with the winds. It was pretty traumatic, to say the least.
yeah, I was just thinking, man, the people just continue to send. Go to martyrswalk.com, send the donations. There's other drop sites. There's other people coming up there back and forth. It's going to go on for a while, so don't think it's not going to stop. Contact Jason on the website if you have any questions. If you can't get him, hit me up. I'll send you right to him. Give him your number, whatever needs to be done.
Yeah,
You'll be
absolutely.
back in town, I guess. Reload too soon.
Yeah, I was planning on being back this morning. I talked to my wife, and she said, "You're doing, great things out there, so do what you got to do." Um, so I don't know. I think we're gonna head into Hendersonville tomorrow for mass, and there's some folks there that need supplies. Actually, uh, there's a man there who is the father of uh, a son who lives, I believe, in Illinois or Indiana. I can't remember. But anyway, he's a police officer, and he joins us in the mornings when we get on and do our morning rosaries with the Sons of Mary on Instagram. And he said his father's in Hendersonville, and he needs some help. So we're going to pack up a little bit, care package for him, and get to mass over in Hendersonville. I think Father McNulty of the Diocese of Charlotte is there, so we'll get over there and be able to survey a little bit more of the area. And then, with the way things are here, if we establish this helicopter landing zone, I want to be around for that, to make sure that gets off without a hitch. And I guess, I'll be coming back Monday or Tuesday potentially, but going to be here to try to really want to see, what the next step is. Every day is new. Don't really know what's gonna look like. Certainly didn't think today we'd be quadrupled in size of what we have to offer to the community at this point. So, just gonna have to wait and see. I know folks are still like, "Can we send more? Can we send more?" Right now, I would say, before sending, big truckloads and trailer loads full, let us start to get some of the stuff dispersed and figure out the real needs. Because right now it's hard to gauge. A lot of folks just aren't coming back. A lot of folks are, they don't have anything to come back to.
Yeah.
They're not going to have work to go back to. They're not going to have a house to go back to. So that's a really sad part, because people that are born here and live here, they pretty much stay here.
And
And
some people's work was their home.
that, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So So I would say stand by. Um, we've got, just trying to figure out each day. I think tomorrow, each day shows a little bit better lay of the land of where the biggest needs are. We are fully stocked. I would say for the next few days, but it's going to go. I mean, at some point, things are going to take off, and if we get a lot of this stuff starting to be shipped out, or we learn of another need that we can start transporting the materials out to, we're going to do it, and it won't go to waste, and it certainly will be used. I can't guarantee it'll be used tomorrow or the next day, but over the next few days, the next week, it's definitely going to be dispersed, because it goes fast, and I think these folks are going to realize that they're going to have to take a little bit more than what they're coming in for.
I was just thinking, you want people to send you, go to St. Paul Street Team and send you a bulk load of miraculous metals that you can have in a bowl for people to just take if you want.
Yeah, that's one thing we do not have. We don't have any really spiritual items, miraculous metals, or you know,
I'll hit
religion.
Dawson up. I'll text Dawson up and see if
Yeah,
he can send you down some. If not, I'll just see if I can just give him a couple of
I can tell
dollars.
you these are people of faith. They may not all be
Oh yeah,
Catholic. They are people of faith. They
yeah.
are people of
I
faith.
mean, they're Baptist or something, but they go every Wednesday. They go every Sunday. It's they're not the ones you see in the big city, as you said otherwise about us.
That's
Yeah,
right.
these guys, they were born that way. They've been hard bred that way. It's the Carolina. It's the mountains of Carolina.
Yeah,
That's the way it's been. Hey,
100%. Yeah.
well, Jason, any final thoughts for anybody? Again, go to the Martyr's Walk website, click the donation thing. Your money will not go wasted, as he said.
Yeah.
Beds, furniture, you name it. I know the Carolina Panthers, a couple of the guys, the running back, and I think it was one of the receivers, bought a bunch of beds to bring up, but that's just maybe 100. How many thousands are up there that lost it to
Yeah.
get everything? So it's just a drop. But if a lot of people are doing drops, then you're going to make a big difference.
Yeah, and I know a lot of the donation sites are kind of, they were, a lot of people were turned away, and we took it. A lot, and I don't know, I can't say who's running those. I'm not even going to presume, but I know a lot of the donation sites have just been kind of pushing people away. We have the space, and I said, hey, drop it. We'll take it. We'll get it, put to good use. And if we got to load up this moving truck here and send it further down the mountain, or do what we got to do, or stick it on helicopter. Anybody out there know somebody who can fly in? We got a good landing zone, and we'll get it loaded up and get stuff out of here. But no other closing thoughts. Just thank you so much for obviously getting us out there, and for talking to me about it. But just thank you for the prayers, thank you for the donations, thank you for all the supports. Hearts and prayers in a real way, not an emoji way. In a real way to the people of Western North Carolina. And of course, there's a lot of stuff going on in Georgia as well, and Tennessee. But I think from what I hear, it sounds like we've kind of gotten the worst of it.
No, yes, like I said, it's home. We can't protect home other our neighbors. Then again, what good am I doing here?
Yeah.
But no, man, yeah, prayer. Hopefully, everyone say Hail Mary for Jason and the efforts of Martyr's Walk up there and everyone else. You got the Hillbilly Air Force out there coming out of Hickory. I'm sure you heard about them.
Nice. Yeah. The Hillbilly Air Force, or the Appalachian Air Force, or something like that. Yeah,
Yep.
that's right.
Yeah, the Cajuns got the Navy, we got the air. So,
that's it. That's it. Full assault, ground and air. Let's do it.
All right, man. We'll talk soon. We'll do another update for everyone. Maybe whenever Jason say, "Hey, I'll text him up. You got a free time. We'll do something. Let everybody know how things are to give an update on everything." But thanks everybody for helping. You guys been incredible on the outpouring, which I knew was coming. I told Jason, said, "You're gonna have to up that goal. When we get this video on there. The people of the channel is fantastic. They will take care of you, and they've been great. So thank you
also to all the volunteers, all the people who've put us up. Pole Creek Baptist Church, PCS security, all the guys that came up with us. All the folks who've dropped stuff off. Just it's just way too many people. I'm gonna have to sit down at some point when this is all said and done. I'm just gonna go through. So if I don't thank you, I'm thanking you now. And
there's just shotgun. Thank you.
a shotgun blast of thank you to everybody. And it's just been it's been an amazing ride, and just be, thanks be to God, been able to be a part of it.
Well, he'll tell you, come to one of his Martyr Walk things, and he'll punch you in the face because I think boxing's involved, and he'll say thank you during that.
That's right. Yeah, thank you, sir. May I have another? Absolutely. But yeah, we do have an upcoming Martyrs Walk on the 17th to the 19th. We got a lot of stuff going on. So we're going
You're
to
gonna be a busy man. Don't forget to eat.
I know, man. I'm trying.
Well, that's another thing. Yeah,
I've got MREs for days, so
do
I'm
you
good.
need anything personally? Do you need like change of clothes? Because you say you only went up for one, and
Yeah, I kind of planned for the long haul. I'm running, we're good. We're good, man. Just honestly, just lay down some prayer cover over me, over the volunteers, the guys with us, Daryl, Matt, here with me tonight. He's plugged into Daryl's battery right now and got some lights shining on me to get this thing done. And Matt helped us unload, and going to stay here, I think, tonight and help us, get going tomorrow. Just, a big thank you to everybody. I'm kind of getting
good to
kind of,
see. It's good to see, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely.
Good comes out of bad.
100%. Yep.
All right, man. We'll talk soon. And again, thanks everybody for the help, support. Everything will be underneath the show notes, links to help. And again, if you need anything, just contact either one of us.
All right, brother. Thank you so much. God bless.
Will do.